on our last show, we started going through newspaper articles about the Hopkinton Police Department. The articles were dated from 1894, I think it was, up until 1950. And we'll be starting in 1928 today. But we got the first 30 years worth of articles in our first episode. The first article we're going to do today is dated November 1928. It's in the Worcester Telegram. It's headlined, "Probation Ends Hopkinton Case. A prominent character witness defend man convicted of assault." So this is a case where there was a vigorous argument by the Middlesex District Attorney's Office, Richard McCabe, that Patrick Casey, a 60-year-old Hopkinton farmer, was given a jail term. The judge, Donahue, in the Middlesex Superior Court today, placed he put Mr. McCabe on probation. The defendant, Mr. McCabe, who was a town garbage collector, a town of Hopkinton garbage collector, and a swine raiser, and well known throughout the Worcester County, was found guilty by a jury in this court 2 weeks ago on two indictments of criminal assault on a 15-year-old Lillian Anderson of Hopkinton. When brought in for sentence today, the defense sprung a surprise by producing as character witnesses for the defense Judge Daniel Riley of Hopkinton, William Walsh of Framingham, Deputy Sheriff of Middlesex County, Florence Mahoney, Suffolk Superior Court Clerk and a resident of Hopkinton, and Edward V. McManus, the Chief of the Hopkinton Police. So here we got a case of a sounds like an innocent man charged with a crime, and we have some very reputable citizens testifying to his good standing, and it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is, I guess this is my number one favorite story of all of the ones that we're going to talk about. The headline is Fitchburg Bank loses $2,000 on bad check. George Williams had an account in the Hopkinton National Bank, had $54 in the account, and he got a bank check. He got a certified check. He went to the bank, he got a certified check for $54. He added 2 zeros to the check, making it $5,400. So now he's got a certified check for $5,400. He takes it to a bank in Fitchburg, opens an account there, deposits the $5,400 in the account, and later on that day, he goes back to the bank and cashes a check for $2,000. The banks, I don't know how they did it, but they traced it back and found out that that check was altered. The $54 check was altered, and I just got, I'm an accountant, and this just struck me as a very interesting scam that this guy. Oh, here's a picture of the bank. The one to the building to the far right, it says bank on it. That's the bank that the Hopkins National Bank that
Now, we've seen this before. This is also the building that held the...
had the day store. Yeah, the day store, I think, is the one in the middle.
Yeah.
And this is the bank, is the one on the right.
Okay.
And also, it's a well-known picture, the Park House Hotel. We have a lot of these pictures at the Historical Society. We have some very good quality pictures. And if you want to see it, please drop by. Next story is in 1930, July 3rd. Mother and daughter hurt in collision. Automobile accident occurred last evening at the junction of East Main and Peach Street. 2 cars were in the collision. Dense shrubbery prevented either driver from seeing the other car coming. John Buckley of Long Island, accompanied by his wife, was driving one of the cars. The other one was owned by Clarence Chadbourne of Green Street, Holliston. Mrs. Chadbourne had 2 daughters, Doris and Phyllis, who were in the car. Doris was badly cut on the arm and received treatment at the scene of the accident by Dr. George Thompson and Lynn Play. Mrs. Chadbourne received a wound on the head and the right leg and also was injured. She was removed to the Framingham Union Hospital. Mr. and Mrs. Buckley escaped injury. Anyways, this is just a routine automobile accident.
You know what? Dense shrubbery is a problem even nowadays. You can't. A lot of times you can't see coming out. I find it interesting that in this time they didn't capitalize the S when they abbreviate street. It's a lowercase S. Today we
I didn't spot that. Yes, you're right. 15th Street. Yeah. This one's kind of interesting. The next one is burglars steal auto, oil, and cigarettes. I think there's 3 different things. Whittemore's Woodville store was broken into last night. Entrance was made through the front door by removing the glass and reaching for the key. Several quarts of automobile oil and 7 cartons of cigarettes were stolen. Mr. Whittemore lives upstairs over the store, but did not hear the burglars and did not discover his loss until he went to open the following morning. Investigation is being made by the Woodville Police and by Chief McManus of Hopkinton. By the way, Chief McManus, I think, was the longest-serving police chief we've had in Hopkinton. His name will be coming up constantly because he's now chief. And so I got a picture here of the Whittemore store. This one is downtown Woodville. You may remember the old gazebo that was there. The store's gone now, but this is basically across the street, across Wood Street from the Woodville Post Office. Okay. So the Woodville Post Office is on one side of Wood Street, and this is on the other side. And it looks like Wood Street's a dirt road. But I do remember. I remember that fountain. There's a fountain to the right-hand side. I remember that fountain. I remember that gazebo. So and I came to Hopkinton in 1962. Okay. So that was there then. Yeah. I don't know when all this was taken down. But.
And what year was this again?
That was this story was 1930. Okay. Yeah. But that's how Woodville looked like that for a long time, and it was the Woodville Baptist Church was right to the right of that store. Okay. There was a nice group of buildings there. Yeah. Woodville's an old town. Yeah. Very proud town too. Yes. The Woodvilleites stick together. Next story. Man held in attack on girl. This story is about Peter Dyer from Flushing, New York. He was arraigned by the state troopers after an alleged attempt to strangle Phyllis Austin of West Main Street. Judge Blodgett of the Framingham District Court heard the case, and he's being held by the grand jury on $2,000 bail. The charge against Dyer is assault with criminal intent. The attack on Miss Austin occurred at 9 o'clock last night in Hopkinton. She later told her father only 50 yards from her home when a man pounced on her from the darkness and threatened to kill her if she yelled. She fastened her fingers around her throat. He fastened her fingers around her throat. She managed to get a yell out, and her father heard it and came to her rescue. It was investigated by the Hopkinton police, Framingham police, at the Framingham Police Barracks and at the Concord State Police Barracks. And I don't know what more, but it sounds like it was an open and shut case to me.
Yeah. They had a posse searching until midnight with flashlights.
So this was in 1932. So it was dangerous.
Yeah.
So the next story is about the Lyman School for Boys in Westboro. Familiar with the Lyman School?
I'm familiar with Lyman Street.
Lyman Street. There was Lyman Street. On Lyman Street, there was a school for wayward boys, disabled boys. It was called the Lyman School for Boys.
Okay.
Well known. And anyways, they had an incident where 2 boys escaped from the school and were caught in Hopkinton. They were Chief McManus again caught them on Corderville Road, and they were trying to steal a car, and he had chased them into the woods, and he caught them, and it was alleged that they had perpetrated many thefts in Westboro along the Boston Post Road. But anyways, I put this in because I'm familiar with the Lyman School. I've heard of it and seen it, and but it's not there anymore, and it kind of brings back the old times.
Yeah.
By the way, I like old things. That's why I'm doing this job.
Right.
The next one is a story in the Worcester Telegram in 1933 about a triple fatality occurred in Rentham. Now, this is an automobile accident. 2 young men and a young woman were killed in an automobile crash on the bypass of the Boston-Providence Highway in Rentham. The victims were Mary Pine, 22, of Price Street, Arthur Desmond, 25, of South Mill Street, and Edward O'Connell, 34, of Grove Street. Desmond was the driver of the car, the police said, and he crashed into the rear of a slow-moving truck during heavy fog on the highway. Anyways, it's a sad story. I gotta believe the Pines it's the same spelling as our pine family.
Right.
This is one of the pines. And there's going to be other familiar names coming up because we're getting more recent times here now. So
wow.
Just
yeah, fog after midnight. That's got to be.
And depends on how you couldn't see in front of you, and there's a slow-moving vehicle, slow-moving truck. You're on a highway.
Yeah.
And you crashed into it. Not good.
No.
Anyways, these are, by the way, these stories are not all just fun. There's some serious, there's a real serious one coming up, but there's serious stuff happening here. This one is a story in 1933 about a man that lived on Wood Street, Beatty, Henry Beatty, and the Beatty family still lives on Wood Street. And he was 76. He wandered away in the woods, and he was tended to wander, and he was forgetful. He strayed. And he was not in good health, and he took a walk and couldn't find his way back. And anyways, he was found after quite a while and taken to the hospital and returned to his family. I believe this Mr. Beatty is Mary Harrington's grandfather.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, it's one of the Beatty clan.
Yeah.
So this story is in 1935, Boston Globe, and we have a case of 3 boys that were charged with setting false fire alarms, ringing the fire alarms falsely. I call it boys being boys, but they were nothing serious. But I mean, well, it is serious in a way, but no harm done.
Yeah.
But anyways, so these things happened then, and I'm sure they're still happening now, in maybe another form. But anyways. The next story is also in 1936. This is another automobile accident story. I'll read it. While returning from work in the Wallace Nutting Studio in Framingham, Josephine Stratton of Hayden Row was struck by an automobile owned and operated by Paul Stone of Framingham, who was returning from his work in returning from work in Westboro. Miss Stratton tried to avoid one machine, that's what they call cars in the machine, and did not see the other one coming from the opposite direction. She was thrown several feet and struck the pavement, causing a deep gash in her forehead. She was taken to the office of Dr. George Thompson across the street and later moved to the Milford Hospital in an ambulance by T. Francis Callahan. That should be Callahan. And at the hospital, it was thought there may have been internal injuries and a possibility of broken ribs. Chief McManus investigated. So it was I guess I call it a routine automobile.
I don't know. I think that's a little dramatic. She avoided one and then got hit by another one coming in the other direction.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. When you think of it like that, you're right. You're right.
Never picture Hopkinton to be so bustling.
Well, maybe the drivers weren't as good today, and maybe the cars weren't as good today. But anyways, what was your first car?
A Ford Mustang.
And what was the year?
Oh gosh, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Probably like like between a 68 and a 72.
Yeah. I remember I had a 1950 Ford convertible, hand painted it myself, or spray painted it myself.
Nice.
And it was a nice car, convertible.
Yeah.
It was probably my first that I owned. I used my parents' cars.
Yeah.
But, anyways, I love that Ford convertible. This story is about, it's in the Worcester Evening Gazette, 1936 in May. Richard Melvin, the 6-year-old son of Curtis Melvin, was struck by an automobile yesterday afternoon near the Center School building on Ash Street. The child ran in front of a car which was driven by Fred Reed of Ash Street. The boy was uninjured, but slightly shaken up. He was removed to his home on Pleasant Street by Chief McManus. So there we have an automobile case that didn't kill somebody.
It's interesting the number of times the chief of police is doing something.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I probably should have been prepared for this, but at those days we had a chief of police, and we'd have one assistant. We didn't have the big police force.
Okay.
And oftentimes the assistant would then become the chief when the chief retired or whatever.
Yeah.
We didn't have a big squad, so you see some of these that the state police were supplying from the state police barracks in Framingham, which was in service at this time.
Yeah. Still
in service, and that's how it operated.
Okay.
This one here it's just a little, I don't know, it's these little tidbits you get in the newspaper about little humorous story. It's called Cheese It, a Cop. But anyways, Walter Brown was found out he had to get a permit to carry a gun before he could use a pistol to start the BAA race. So I guess he decided, well, if I have to get a pistol, I'll go the whole way. And he joined the police department as a member of the police department. So he's their whole reserve squad. There you go.
Yeah.
So,
and that's probably the Walter Brown.
That was the Walter Brown on the statue.
Wow.
With the gun in his hand, and he's our Walter Brown. Yeah. Big sports guy.
Big, yeah.
Big sports guy. But he made the newspaper. This story is very interesting to me. It says posse member shot by another in search for a Hopkinton sniper. I'm going to read it because I want you to pay attention. Maybe I can get some help on this one. As armed residents of a wooded section in this town were searching tonight for a phantom sniper who fired at 3 persons in the darkness, one member of the posse shot another member in the hunting party in the mistaken belief that he was the sniper. The victim of the accidental shooting was Leo Miller of Campanella Road, Framingham, who was struck in the face, neck, and shoulders with buckshot from the shotgun of Nathan McHatton, 56, of Franklin Road. I think it's Frankland Road. McHatton told state police he had been shot at twice, apparently by the sniper, before he saw a figure in the darkness and emptied his shotgun. Miller was taken by Dr. James Ruggles and sent to the Framingham Hospital for x-rays. His condition is not serious. Miller was one of the trio whom the sniper first fired upon. The Framingham man was walking with William West of Frankland Road and West's daughter Edith when the West dog chased a man or boy from the West farm. A few minutes later, after the dog returned to its master, a shot was fired over the heads of the two men and the girl. And this is the part coming up that I'm interested in particular. They ran to the Lucky Manor Inn, the starting place for the Boston Athletic Marathons, and telephoned Chief Edward McManus of the Hopkinton Police. He called in state troopers from the Framingham Barracks who joined the neighboring residents in a search through the woods for the sniper. Late tonight, McHatton was arrested on a charge of assault with a dangerous weapon and will be arraigned in Framingham District Court. But anyways, we're talking about the Lucky Manor Inn on East Main Street in Hopkinton, the start of the marathon. And I have this marathon picture of the race starting on East Main Street. And I've always heard that it started by Lucky Rock. And I've got to believe there's a connection between Lucky Rock and Lucky Manor Inn. I could find nothing on Lucky Manor Inn. I've been told where Lucky Rock is, but every time I go down East Main Street, which is just about every day, I'm looking for it and I can't find it. But anyways,
wow.
I would like to know more about both Lucky Rock, and if anybody knows anything about Lucky Manor Inn, please let us know.
All right, and that brings us to the close of our second episode on this really cool, fascinating book.